Moonwalker Field at Northwood Stadium in St. Paul, Minnesota is where our SFL Super Saturday Week 11 continues. The playoff hunt starts to unravel here in SFL Season 23. These two teams firmly in the playoff hunt, both a win above 500. Minnesota rather at a comfortable 6-2, but Lexington trying to push themselves 2 wins above a 5-4 record with a away upset against this strong Minnesota Legend outfit that's now on a 3-win run streak. Some kind of win streak is being broken tonight. Rochelle Colston is alongside me to try and determine which that might be. And Ray, how are you doing and what are the keys to the matchup tonight?
Well, this is going to be a very interesting matchup. Central Division, they're both very top in their division. This game is a lot on the line. Minnesota is very balanced. So let's just find a way to mix things up and worst case scenario to throw interceptions and make mistakes tonight.
It's a inter-division matchup in the Central tonight, and Lexington wouldn't be able to take over Minnesota with a win today, but they would equal their win total, which would put some significant pressure at the top end of this otherwise competitive division. And it will be the home side, Minnesota, who will take over at the just shy of the 30 here for their first possession. This loaded offense is led out by quarterback Johnny Reno, the backs Isaac Knox, and Colin Hart, Robert Henson Jr., the fullback, the receivers, Craig Bam, Deezer Powell, Tita Queen, Jay Taylor, and EJ Minchin, the tight end Caesar Ackerman, and Jason France, that five-man line, Brookie Burr, Axel Raven, Dusty Wilson, Griffin King, and Ruthie Raven at the center position. So 5 offensive linemen in front of Johnny Reno. He has a total of 7 receivers to try and throw to, but it'll go to the backfield on the first play today. Opening carry for Colin Hart, and that's 5 yards.
Yeah, great job by the offensive line, creating a big hole. Nice 5-yard pickup on first down.
This Legend outfit runs the ball very, very well between the 2-back group of Hart and Knox. It'll be Knox in the backfield here for this 2nd down and 5 play out of a strong power eye. Handoff to the short side. That's going to be a carry. Picks up 7. And Isaac Knox picks up where Colin Hart left off.
Yeah, we definitely have a 2-headed tandem back there between Colin Hart and Knox, and they're very good. And Minnesota basically leads in the top 10 in most offensive stats.
Lexington front 7 is going to be under all kinds of pressure tonight to try and shut down this run game. Handoff up the middle. That's a response that was needed there as Colin Hart is dropped behind the line for a loss of 1. We'll introduce this Lexington defense. Chris Andrews, Berta Demora, Mike Mello, and Jaden Swift make up the line. David Ware, Phil Collins, and Tony Roberto in the linebacking core. The secondary, Nate Haslip, Jake Rock, Cameron Shaw, Travis Arthur, and Marco Swift. As a receiver is motioned across here. Spread formation for Johnny Reno, who runs out of the backfield. He's going to be taken down. Officially a loss of 2. Could have been a significant amount more there as Chris Andrews gets a sack.
Yeah, that time he just went around his blockers and just got caught up with the defensive end just coming around the side.
Andrews was creating the pressure, and it was Philadelphia Collins who is the beneficiary of it and gets a solo sack to add to his stat panel early today. And now Minnesota with an early 3rd down and long to try and keep this drive on the road. Reno drops back, the blocking up front, settles that time, throws it downfield in and out of hands, and nearly made its way all the way through. But the tip from Marco Swift prevents it from going downfield.
Yeah, Marco Swift just up in the middle of the field, in a perfect position to make the deflection.
And it's a very early punt here. After what was a good start to the drive, they went to the air, and the Lexington front 7 really locked in with a tackle for loss, then a sack, and then a pass deflection on 3rd down. And so the Miners will take over here from just past their own 30 there, as it'll be returned by Gabriel Manning. This offense led out by quarterback Kenny Slater. The backs Phoenix Jones and Dion James. Lars Bazaar, the fullback. The 3 wide, Alexander West, CJ Parrish, and the incredible Gabriel Manning. The tight end, DJ Bandit. And the lone guard is Phoebe Collins. 5 wide here for Lexington. Already aggressive and maybe too aggressive there. It was in a hands of the corner there on the plate. Could have been intercepted, but falls harmlessly incomplete.
Let's come out very aggressive. Usually, we like their run game with Phoenix Jones. They're trying for a big play on the first down.
Just a little bit risky there from Kenny Slater on his opening play. So they'll go to the ground here straight away and dumped behind the line of scrimmage. There, Max Knight straight into the action. And just where Minnesota found themselves on the previous drive, on their first set of downs, Lexington are going to find themselves in a 3rd and long. And Slater will go straight into a 4 wide set. Drops back, running back right across. That's picked off. Going back the other way. David Levers has an interception, and the Minnesota Legend are going to take over at Lexington's 35.
And great job by the defense. I mean, Lexington came out aggressive, and they paid for it right here.
David Levers, in his first season with the Minnesota Legends, spent some time with the San Diego Mavericks after starting his career in St. Louis/Motor City, and has made a real impact as the real leader in this cornerback core alongside the likes of Johnny Bravo and Nicholas Frossel. And now Minnesota gets to take over deep inside Lexington territory. They go back to the run game. That's where they'll find success on the opening drive, and Colin Hart picks up 3 yards.
Yeah, basically they're in Mickey Malillo's field goal range, I think, at the moment. So worst they can do here is 3 points.
Reno back into a split spread here. Minnesota would love more than 3 points here on their second possession to put some pressure on. That's a good carry from Isaac Knox. So he's had 2 good carries so far in this game. Picks up 6 on that play, and it'll be a 3rd down and short. They'll go back to this strong power I formation with Isaac Knox out and Colin Hart back in. Pressure on both edges here for Lexington. Ran it straight to the right-hand side on the last play. Time it's a toss. Hart got met behind the lock. Stopped almost. Hart is going to be given the first down, and Lexington might be asking some questions from the bench. And sure enough, the challenge flag will be thrown by Jaden Swift.
That linebacker core from Lexington's no joke. Between, Ware, Collins, and Rector, they have a combined 51 TFLs this season.
This could be another one to add to that column here if what our eyes are seeing are confirmed. And as you see there, Colin Hart did not get that past the yellow stripe, so this should be a 4th down and inches upcoming here for the Legend. So a result there as the combination of Philadelphia Collins, the Lexington head coach, and Jaden Swift, the defensive coordinator, combining there to make sure that was challenged. But a great play call from the Miners on 3rd down and short. They get a stop. They're very hard to stop Colin Hart in that kind of range. And so Mickey Malillo will trot out here to try and nail a 42-yard attempt. Swings it right to left. He's hung it out too far. And Malillo with a rare miss.
Wow.
That is not something you see very often. Mickey Malillo, that one started to go out to the left and it stayed left. And he's missed a couple this season, Mickey Malillo. He's 17 of 19. That 19 leads the league in attempts, and he's 2nd in field goals made. And so Lexington get away from that turnover without conceding points somehow. And They will take over again here at the 32, basically right where they lost it, back to the air, caught by Gabriel Manning for a first down.
Now, Minnesota's going to have to do a really good job of covering Manning. I mean, he's a favorite receiver. He's that way, he's their star player. You just can't let him open the middle of the field that way. Coverage was there.
Got one back there on David Leathers, who had the interception on the previous Lexington drive. So you can imagine that the target would have been for Gabriel Manning on that third down interception that slider through. Back to the bunch. So really aggressive formation calling on the sideline from Philadelphia Collins. I'll move Alexander West in motion. Some space in the slot on that left-hand side if he can exploit it. Slider throws. That's again caught by Gabriel Manning. So back-to-back. In fact, it's CJ Parrish for the first time today. So both of the two main targets for Lexington involved early.
Lexington's on a little roll here. And nothing fancy, just some little quick routes over the middle.
Parrish is third in the team in terms of targets for this wide receiver core, but still a very dangerous threat in that play. That's a little bit too much contact there on the coverage. And this will give Lexington a little bit more yardage and a fresh set of downs.
And Nicholas Ross will get a little handsy there.
And so very quickly, this Lexington offense are going to be knocking on the door of the Minnesota red zone after the interception and the scare there, because they seemed for sure to concede and then wound up with a third down and short stop and a missed field goal, and the scores are still level, and Lexington now with an opportunity to score some points of their own. They're already in Takeda Yuki field goal range. But they want a little bit more here with a fresh set of downs. They have not run the ball yet on this drive. That's the first. And he'll be dumped behind the line of scrimmage. So a good response from the Minnesota legend on defense. And that defense consists of Angela Meerkat, Mark Mello, Chloe Meerkat, and Max Knight on the line. Matthew Alvarado, Stephen Black, and Jason Clay in the linebacking core. David Levers, Nicholas Frossel, Johnny Bravo, Adrian Blaine, Jubilee Marsh, and Derek Meerkat make up the secondary. Slider drops back, throws again, caught for a first down. Slider is slinging it beautifully at the moment, and DJ Bandit gets his first catch of the game.
Yeah, Lexington likes their tight end. DJ Bandit, they go to him often, they go to him a lot. And there's a big target for him, wide open middle of the field.
31 catches for 320 odd yards in season 23 for DJ Bandit. He's very, very heavily liked by Kenny Slider. And now the Miners have a fresh set of downs here inside the red zone. Harry to the outside. Phoenix Jones is going the wrong way, and he's going to run out of bounds after a loss of 2. He seemed to run back 5 yards and tried to get it forward, but Minnesota were able to swarm him.
That was just a broken play from the get-go. He's lucky to get back to where he got to.
Quite what he was looking for there. Phoenix Jones. Has been a tough start for the Lexington running game, but their passing play has been excellent thus far. And responding straight away, they go back to an empty back set. Slider's going to load 3 receivers up on the left. Pressure around the edge. He was able to get it away. Another scare there, though, as Mark Mello came off and tried to get to him. Couldn't quite get there, but forces an incompletion.
Great job by the D-line getting penetration, making Kenny Slider just a little bit nervous in the pocket.
So it'll be another third down and long. Remember last time they were in a third down situation, an interception was thrown. Slider's going to try and shake that off now. Throws, it's intercepted again. Lightning strikes twice. This time it's Johnny Bravo, and he returns it back up to the Minnesota 20.
Just when you get in the scoring range on both sides of the field, interceptions or missed field goals.
That's not quite what they were after there. As another interception from Kenny Slider thrown on third down. So when Minnesota dropped their coverage back, they've been very good at covering the outside areas. So both outside corners now have an interception on the ball for this Minnesota defense. And these two offenses are trading blows at the moment, but without scoring. So now Reno, fresh drive here to start off, but it's a run up the middle, well read. There, as a 3-yard pickup is made by Colin Hart.
The linebackers did a great job there of filling the gaps. Coming in with a big stop. Only 3 yards.
And keep it going here, 3 wide for Reno, handoff up the middle. That's going to pick up a couple as Isaac Knox checks in, so a quick stop here. And again, you see that Kenny Slider, his last 3 weeks had 2 interceptions. Tonight, he's already had 2 interceptions, so Slider's been in elite form of late. Minnesota seemed to have the knock on him early here in this contest. Reno going to run it on 3rd down, and Colin Hart, another questionable call on 3rd down here. And this time, there will be another challenge from Philadelphia Collins, and we'll take a second retroactive look at the play. Make sure you get your SFL console to play SFL on the go at GoRetroid.com. See, this looked just as close as the first one was.
Oh, I think he got it this time.
Either way, it's a miraculous tackle from Marco Swift, and I think he's short, Rochelle. Officially overturned. Let's make sure it's not a yardage move, but this should be 4th and inches, so it's the second time that Minnesota have felt like they had a 1st down, and then the challenge flag from Phil Collins has taken it away from them, and it will be a second punt of the day as a result. So
having a very active first quarter. We've had 2 interceptions. We've had a bunch of punts, a missed field goal,
and then 2 3rd down stops that were made by challenge flags. So pretty interesting one to draw some storylines from in the opening quarter, and we've still got 2 minutes left of it as Lexington's going to start their 3rd drive. And again, the first 2 from Kenny Slider have resulted in interceptions, but he's otherwise moved the ball really well. It's just been 3rd down and long situations that have brought him undone. The run game's yet to get any positive yardage as well. Slider drops back. Pressure again got there. He got it away, but it was a tough one to try and reel in there for CJ Parrish. Couldn't do so.
And they had lots of coverage there. 3 defenders in the area. Kind of a dangerous pass.
So now on 2nd down and 10. So again, Phoenix Jones has had 3 attempts and has unofficially had -4 yards. And they haven't got the ball to either Dion James or Lars Bazaar yet either. It's been all passing thus far from the Miners. It'll be another pass here from Slider. Finds West. He breaks the first tackle. He's able to get a couple more yards than originally he was gained. And this will bring up a 3rd and short.
You got to be careful here. You can't become this one-sided in a game. You have to establish the run game quickly here. Or eventually.
Especially against the secondary, there's much talent as Minnesota has. It's already picked you off twice. Toss play on the outside. This run play is going to get forward progress, but not enough. 2 yards of the required 3. It's shut down there on the play by Matthew Alvarado. And Lexington will punt this one straight back to Minnesota.
Both defenses are doing an incredible job here tonight.
Cam's making fun of you in SFL HQ. Just Lexington trying to tell you that the reservation can wait. We've had like 6 drives in the opening quarter, so this projects to potentially be a long one when you were trying to be out of here quickly. But it's making very good viewing for those of you who are tuning in here. A scoreless opening quarter thus far. But there's been plenty to talk about as both of these offenses have been cancelled out by the opposing defenses. Minnesota are going to try and get something going here on this drive after the last one was shut down on a 3rd down stop from this Lexington defense. But they've been running their ball very well. Handoff up the middle. That's a little bit of an exception to the rule there as Colin Hart is dumped behind the line by Phil Collins.
I mean, these defenses are tough out there tonight. I mean, they're not allowing very much at all. We had 2 turnovers and still no points.
So back to it here. Good formation to the top. Reno drops back, had good protection. In and out of hand to Jason France, who couldn't reel that in. Good coverage once more. And it'll be a 3rd down and long straight away.
Yeah, Nate Heslip, I mean, look out. He's very dangerous. He's had 5 interceptions. He's he leads the league in interceptions. I wouldn't be throwing towards him too often tonight.
Not someone who has a ton of name value, Nate Haslip, but just quietly a very elite talent on the outside of this Lexington cornerback core. And Reno will drop back here. He's got really good protection up front and got a throw away, and it's caught for a 1st down pickup there. That's exactly what the legend needed. A 1-to-1 connection between Reno and Tita Queen.
I mean, that time your O-line just gave him all day to get rid of the ball. Great protection up front, finding an open receiver and moving the chains.
Fresh set of downs for the legend here. Reno, handoff, short side. They can't get. It's a struggle for Colin Hart, but he somehow got 4 yards out of that. And that should be the last play of what was a very entertaining but scoreless quarter here at St. Paul, Minnesota. It's the legend against the Miners in the Central Division. It's 0-0. Back here in the 2nd quarter here, we say hello to the likes of DJ Bandit, J Rock, Axel Raven, EJ Minchin, and Dave Levers, amongst others, in the viewership in the YouTube chat this evening. As the throw to the backfield, Colin Hart's going to get some steam, and he'll get it up over halfway with a fresh set of downs.
Yeah, if Colin Hart can get this run game going, I think they may have a tough sled here tonight.
What they needed. He had a really good start, and then Lexington started to key in on him, so Reno adjusts and says, I'm going to get you into open space here, and that's where he's picked up his best gain of the evening thus far. And they'll start now to inch their way inside Lexington territory. Gee, it's been a strong start for Isaac Knox. That's a 9-yard pickup. He's basically gotten 3 carries thus far, and the worst of them was a 6-yard pickup. So he is really causing Lexington some trouble on the ground today.
2-headed tandem in that backfield.
It's no mean feat that he's outperforming Colin Hart at the moment. And now on a 2nd down and short, Hart up the middle is stuffed. So that's the theme of the day at the moment. It's the Lexington defense really keying in on Colin Hart as David Ware gets a tackle for loss. And now on 3rd down and short, they'll bring Isaac Knox back out there, who's been basically impossible to stop. In fact, check that. They're keeping Hart here on the 3rd down and short. Remember, they've been stopped twice on 3rd downs here. Reno's going to throw this time. Throws. Great catch. Tita Queen again.
What a beautiful catch. A one-handed, drag it in, lay your body out. Know you're going to get hit. Still come down with the catch.
Just like for Lexington, it was interceptions on 3rd down that were really hurting them. For Minnesota, it was just 3rd down and short because the Miners had really shut them down when they tried to run in those situations. So Reno adjusts, throws a pass, and Tita Queen, the only one of the 7 possible receivers to have a reception on the board here. She's now got 2. Hand off at the middle. That's better from Colin Hart. Picks up 6.
Yeah, and like I said, Minnesota is very, very balanced. They can catch you off guard. They're willing to throw the ball. They're willing to run the ball a lot. It's like I said, there's no like one target that's its favorite. They get they get the ball to all their offensive weapons.
A little stat for you there on that note. Hand off at the middle. That's the first time they've really shut down Isaac Knox. He still picks up a couple of yards, but you're absolutely right. Listen to these receiver titles. I'm not even going to give you names. This is just the total catches for some of these players. 27, 25, 29, 15 and 19. They're your leading receivers, so there's no real breakaway number one target on this roster for Minnesota. So Reno can throw it to anyone and everyone. But on a third down and short, this projects to be a run. They got Colin Hart in the backfield again. Again, heavy blocking. Short, Hart got away for the first point of contact, and he will pick up a first down. That keeps the Minnesota drive going, and they're now knocking on the door of goal to go.
Right now, we're working on our longest drive of the evening.
They've just picked up the efficiency. That's why they've been able to move this ball downfield. They've converted twice on third downs now. They were unable to do that at any point during the first quarter. This is much more like the Minnesota legend we've come to get used to. Throw to the end zone. That was in quadruple coverage and somehow fell away, but Nate Heslop had a shot at that.
Yeah, great job by the secondary. I mean, that receiver, I don't think it was impossible for him to catch that ball. There was no way.
I'll tell you what, I'm not throwing it at someone who's forced 8 turnovers so far in season 23, 5 interceptions and 3 forced fumbles. That is a stat line for Nate Heslop. That's not where I want to put the ball if I'm Johnny Reno. Goes back again, caught up above the plate. Jay Taylor, that was some grab, and it gets them 7 yards closer to the goal line.
Yeah, great bag, but then he paid for that huge hit. They caught him up in the air and just threw him to the ground.
To climb the ladder for that one, Jay Taylor. First target of the game for the veteran. Drops back, Reno's going to throw. He's got a wide open man in the end zone. Great read. Tita Queen's got 3 catches and 6 points.
Yeah, sneaky to Queen there. Got herself behind the secondary, basically all by herself. I don't know what happened there with the defense.
The scoring drive of the game, and it took us just shy of 14 total minutes after 6 drives from both teams. Here the opening quarter yielded nothing, and the Legend now have the first points on the board in this divisional rivalry.
5 minutes, Jacob. 14 plays, 77 yards, 6 run plays.
And you just feel that's going to spur the Lexington offense awake, but they need to get their run game going. That's going to be really key. You mentioned earlier that they don't want to get locked into a one-sided offense because they've only really been able to move the ball downfield through the hands of Kenny Slider. Manning's going to return this one from inside of the end zone, gets it up past the 20, and will be stopped at the 24. That's where Lexington will take over. Still boatloads of time in the second quarter. Try and match Minnesota's scoring drive that basically bled half of a quarter off the clock.
And look out, Manning's always dangerous on a return, so good job by the second special team to bringing them down in 24.
In out here. Phoenix Jones still yet to break even on his rushing total of the game so far. Slider with 3 wide. They'll throw again to the backfield. That's going to be caught by Lars Bazaar, and he's only going to be able to pick up a couple here as he stopped for a 2-yard gain.
I think that time Slider felt the pressure coming from his from the left side of him. Just dumped the ball off real quick.
Joker's formation here, so it projects to be a run. There's space down on this left-hand side. They recognize that Lexington's are going to bring this receiver down as an extra blocker. It'll be a throw, though, from Slider. He was looking for DJ Bandit, and there was plenty of coverage around to a peculiar play call there from the Lexington offense. They are refusing to run the ball against this Minnesota front 7. And they now find themselves with a 3rd down and long.
All the linebackers just in the middle of the field just waiting for the pass, basically.
5 wide here. Again, the 3rd down and longs have been the kryptonite of this Lexington offense thus far. Slider drops back, throws down, almost again. It was nearly a 3rd time. That time Adrian Blaine had a shot at it. but it falls harmlessly incomplete. Instead of it being a turnover, it's a punt.
I mean, you have 5 defenders, and you're throwing the ball with 5 defenders around your receiver. That's living on the edge.
Really taking some gambles here as it's Takayuki. We'll punt this one away. There was pressure on him, and in fact, he was taken out, so this is going to knock Minnesota back no matter what happens.
Ooh.
Takayuki was nailed by one of the Minnesota special teams members. It's not something you see very often in this league. That's going to knock them back to,
wow.
Yeah, basically where they caught the football. It was very late as well. It happened almost just off frame here. But you'll see Yuki just got nailed after the kick, so pretty silly there.
I mean, he put his hand up as the blocker just said, oh, well, I'm just going to take him out.
Let him play. He had both feet down. It's fair game, apparently. 3 wide for Lexington. Oh, they're going to take over. It's a fresh set of downs. I didn't even... I forgot the rule. So it's a fresh set of downs for Lexington. So what a mistake from Minnesota. They've given up the right to possession because of that penalty.
Wow, that's a
there you go. Remember, that's
mistake.
A guaranteed first down if you take out the punter. So it wasn't just silly. It was really costly for Minnesota. So now a handoff on the outside. That's going to be positive yardage. Dion James says to Adrian Blaine, say hello to the grass. And it's a first down for the Miners.
Only a run by Lexington to actually gain yards. We need to see more of that.
Just had the reminder from SFL that yes, that's indeed Lexington ball. The reason why I got confused, I've never seen that before. We've been on this engine for 2.5 seasons now, and I've never seen a roughing the punter call. So there's a first time for everything, and this is the game for it. As Slider throws, that's caught by DJ Bandit inside the Minnesota 30. A beautiful throw from Slider. He's back to the Kenny Slider we've come to know and expect.
Yeah, I mean, between Manning and Bandit, you have to cover them. You can't leave them open. They're his favorite targets, and they're very good at what they do.
They're now knocking on the door of the 30, so both boxes have been checked. Slider's thrown it downfield quite comfortably, and they've gotten some positive yardage on the run as well. Throws, that's a short route caught for a 3-yard gain. Nothing wrong with that. Gabriel Manning gets a reception there.
You get open field tackle on Manning.
Cam saying that's the first in SFL history. Trust me, I would not be surprised. Throws, that's incomplete. And DJ Bandit trying to get there again. That time Minnesota learnt their lesson and gets to the ball. And now it's a 3rd down and long. But Rochelle, at worst, this is a field goal for Takayuki. So you can't throw that away here. They're at the 26, so this should be a reasonably comfortable, although Mickey Melillo missed from similar range in the opening quarter on the same side of the field.
I wonder how much the wind has a factor in that.
The formation Slider rolls out, clean pocket, great block by the back. Couldn't hang on to it though. It was put in a really good position there for Alexander West, but he couldn't hang on to the ball. And this will be a shot attempt here from Takayuki from exactly the same range that Mickey Melillo had in the opening quarter. So we'll see if lightning strikes twice again here. Harder for Yuki to kick into that home support of the legend, but he nails it. And Lexington have got some points on the board.
This is a lot closer game than I thought it was going to be. And, nobody's scoring. We're almost at halftime.
I don't think I'm surprised at all that this game is close. These two teams are in the same division, and they've both got a winning record. So they've got plenty of film on each other, and they're both winning football games. So again, Minnesota on a 3-win streak. Lexington's on a 2-win streak. One of those is getting snapped tonight, and Minnesota are going to take over from their own 20 after that kickoff went touchback. And again, the last drive for Minnesota has been Nearly 5 minutes, 14 plays. They ran the ball really well, resulting in a 7-yard touchdown to T to Queen. Now, there's spread formation. Handoff straight up the middle. Colin Hart got caught behind the blocker and he got nailed there. One of the safeties there, and Marco Swift saw that, and it was a green light for him to go forward and nail the Minnesota running back.
And that was definitely a big hit by Marco Swift coming from a strong safety position.
You need to give him two guesses at what he's going to do there. And now run. Isaac Knox again. He just lowers the shoulder. He's like, someone run at me. And he picks it up 9 yards.
And so sticking to this run game of theirs and controlling the ball in the time of possession.
He looks like the Chicago Warriors. Isaac Knox, that was in the SFL, who was just bullying people in that last minor league season. Handoff up the middle. That's going to be a first down to Colin Hart. So the two backs are working in tandem now, as we came to expect at the start of the game.
I expected a lot more scoring, I guess, Jacob, than I thought, that we're seeing here.
Both defenses have been really good today. It's certainly in the theme of Minnesota season. Gee, that's what Isaac Knox has been waiting for, someone to take him on. And he got nailed there, count of second best after a 5-yard pickup, and that'll bring us to the 2-minute warning here. The legend with possession, trying to drive down to get a second score on the board before the half is out. And they're content to just run the ball at this Lexington defense to try and see if it can respond and get back to what it was doing in the opening term. Handoff up the middle. Hart is swarmed. Great defense there up front. And it's going to be a no gain call here. Good tackle from David Ware. And that's going to bring Minnesota into a 3rd and 5.
And this linebacking core from Lexington, they can hurt you, especially in the backfield.
Reno will spread the receivers. That's likely the first time they pass on this drive that they have ran on 3rd down before, but Reno will throw. Drops back, got a great block by the tackle. Throws downfield. Caught again. Downfield. GT to Queen is having an afternoon.
T to Queen's put on a receiving clinic out here for everyone. In coverage. Great catch. Perfect throw by Reno.
And Rochelle, make note of Brookie Burr there on that right tackle spot, because that's where Reno was standing, and he just said, I'm going to let you create the space for me. And she did exactly that. And now inside Lexington territory, they're going to hurry it up here. Another throw from Reno. That's caught for a first down. They can slow it down here. In fact, they're going to call a timeout. That's going to come from Minnesota. And now just past the 30. So they're on the fringe of Mickey Molillo field goal range, but with a minute left on the clock, they want more than that. And the Reno to DeQueen connection today has been spot on, as Jay Taylor is motioned into the opposite slot. Bit of space up the top there. Reno drops back, throws, and picked on. What a play! Going back in the other direction. Gee, that is some interception on the tip. Tipped it up to himself, and we'll make sure that this flag doesn't negate it. It will. It's a defensive penalty, so it's going to come back.
Wow.
Or was it after the interception, so it potentially is just going to affect the spot? Yeah, it's going to affect the spot. But Philadelphia Collins has an interception on the board, and that's exactly what Lexington needed. Check that. Our statisticians have said it was Tony Roberto. It was certainly one of the Lexington linebackers who tipped it up to himself and caught it. Now Lexington are going to, at minimum, avoid conceding before the half is out. But that's a great tackle in the backfield there. Great read. Pushing through there was Stephen Black, ensuring that didn't get anywhere forward. And Lexington are forced to call their first time out.
Lexington's going to be very careful here. Kenny Cyrus thrown 2 interceptions already. You're backed up until you're almost your own end zone. You can't afford an interception here.
Right hands in the stats booth. This is confusing. Yes, it is very confusing. This whole half has been confusing.
Oh!
Throw, deep, caught! First down and then some. Up over halfway, go Lexington.
Wow, you can't leave Manning that open. I mean, I'm surprised he didn't go all the way to the house with that one. He had plenty of open space and just great pursuit by the Minnesota defense.
It's the first time we've seen Gabe Manning in full flight here today, and Lexington just lured Minnesota into a false sense of security with that opening run. They went straight back to the air. Now Lexington, throw, that's nearly interception. Geez, Stephen Black would want that one back.
Oh.
Very nearly a costly turnover for Lexington. But 40 seconds left there inside Minnesota territory as a result of that 40-yard bomb to Gabriel Manning. Slider, oh, he had pressure, got rid of a great play from Slider, and James has picked up about 6 or 7 there on the reception.
Good job by Phoenix Jones, running his little route to the outside, and good job by Slider finding him. He'd run the ball in a hurry.
Still hasn't had any positive yardage on the ground, but that was a first catch of the game, picks up 7 yards. So he's had more on 1 catch than he has on 6 carries. Pretty crazy half for Phoenix Jones. Now the third down, and short drop back, that's incomplete. They covered Manning that time, and it'll be incomplete, and this is outside of Takeda Yuki field goal range. So they want to find this inside. Close enough to the goal line that Minnesota can't drive their way out of trouble here. In fact, it'll be a 4th down attempt here from Lexington. So they're going to go for it. It's been a first half full of surprises here. Slider throws out. That's going to be incomplete. Couldn't quite fight it through. Good coverage there on DJ Bandit.
We've had 3 possessions now inside the 2-minute warning.
Gives us a chance to settle things here after that turnover on downs, and Minnesota gets a chance to try and drive their way downfield. The SFL convention is headed to Baltimore for the 2025 convention, kicking off the league's 25th anniversary season, July 10th to 14th. Join SFL Nation at rooftop pool of our host hotel, the Hyatt Regency, leading out into Baltimore's Inner Harbor, and revel in the league's first convention on the East Coast. Make sure you reserve your room at the special group rate at simfl.net. Back carry up the middle. Picks up a yard. Phil Collins shuts it down. No timeout call from either side. And that should lead us just down. I wonder if Minnesota might call one more play here before the half is out. They will try and see if they can get Isaac Knox into open space for the 17th time in this half. Hand off at the middle. Knox goes forward. That's been the play calling thus far for him. Picks up 5. And that will end a entertaining half. Low scoring. Has been 10 combined points in the half, but plenty to talk about. We've had some league firsts in this half, and that's where we end things here. Minnesota at home lead the Lexington Miners in the Central Division rivalry 7 points to 3. Rochelle Costin, give me your keys to that opening half and what you expect to see in the second.
Just to give credit to Lexington's defense. You had 2 turnovers. Your defense came out, allowed 0 points from the turnovers. And I mean, these defenses have just been playing like crazy tonight.
There was plenty that happened in that half that really sort of gives us to talk about, but we don't have enough time to break it all down here as we get our halftime player. It's of course Tina Queen, who had those 5 catches. She's led the game in total yardage so far out of all the non-quarterbacks. Let's take a quick halftime break presented by Breaks GPT.
We just pulled a full-size Taylor Swift helmet. Shout out to all our Swifties. Travis Kelce. This is a Giants Lawrence Taylor.
Patrick Mahomes.
Chad Johnson with the Ocho Cinco.
We have a Drew Brees.
Is that an O.J. Simpson jersey?
An Aaron Rodgers.
Oh my goodness.
Tom Brady! Tom Brady!
If you like what you saw there, you too can break into the world of sports memorabilia collecting with Breaks GPT, featuring signed football jerseys, helmets, photos, and more. Breaks GPT offers you a shot at winning autographed and authenticated sports memorabilia at a fraction of the price. Join the community of collectors on the Breaks GPT Facebook page and lock in your shot at hitting a humongous headliner on the site breaksgpt.com. And CJ Parrish on the return is going to get this one up to the 30, so Lexington will have first dibs here in the second half with the deficit only being 4 points.
I'm excited to see what halftime adjustments were made.
Yeah, there can always be some significant changes from offenses in that halftime interval. So we'll see what adjustments Philadelphia Collins made here. To Lexington offense, it was struggling to move the ball on the ground. They did really well to move the ball through the air for Kenny Slater. That's been the theme of the season. But Phoenix Jones is much better than what has been displayed so far tonight. A motion receiver across, picked up by the linebacker. And dropping back his Slider. Good protection up front. He did well to hang on to that one. Gabriel Manning has the 4th catch on the game. And we'll head to SFL HQ to check in with Cameron Irvine on the other game.
Thank you, Jacob. Houston's at Indy. Best play from the first half. 3rd and goal right from the goal line. Indy puts their fullback in at tight end and then hits them on a nice little half-yard touchdown, if you can call that. Indy, that's the difference in the game, I should say. Indy is up on Houston 17-10, just passing the halfway mark of the 3rd quarter. Back to you.
You got 2 interesting games to start off the block today after the Friday games were a bit all over the shop last night. Some huge deficits there where they were not expected. The games have picked up here tonight. That handoff at the... another one. Gee, we've had some really close 3rd down and short calls today. Phoenix Jones got that one. There's no challenge flag coming from the sideline from Axel Raven, and they will keep going here. Lexington. And off Slater got away. Great block by Collins, but he couldn't stay alive for much longer than that. Dumped in the backfield there by Derek Meerkat.
Look
In
out.
fact, Chloe Meerkat, the 3rd Meerkat, gets a sack. So they're all involved today.
The Meerkat family.
Derek's the safety. It's Angela and Chloe who are bringing the punishment up front. And Chloe early in her first season with this defense gets a sack on the board. Some undrafted free agent love here today in this game. It's at everything. Slider's gone again. Lexington have gone back to hold 10 yards, and that time it's the veteran Max Knight who checks in.
Yeah, Max Knight came into the game at 6.5 sacks. Make that 7.5, and he's number 4 in the league right now in sacks.
Second tackle for loss, first sack, and the two combined have pushed Kenny Slater back a whole 10 yards, and now it's a 20-yard completion needed here to try and keep this drive going. They've basically gone back to where they started. Slater's just going to scramble. He's going to pick up a yard. Gee, that's disappointing. Kenny Slater said, I've got no interest trying to throw this downfield. We're just going to protect the football, and we'll punt this back straight away.
Well, that was definitely an interesting call.
That's a really mercy rule in play there. He had no interest in testing this Minnesota secondary on 3rd down and long. And they'll punt this one away. Good coverage though, and they're going to swarm the returner there at his own 38. It's basically no return from E.J. Minchin, who we haven't called yet today.
Minnesota's got pretty good field position here. Let's see if they can take advantage of it.
Again, 12 yards shy of halfway. Reno, handoff up the middle. Colin Hart starting to get it going here. Colin Hart, gee, these two backs have really picked up the pace, and Lexington are going to need to really lock in on them if they're to claw their way back into this game. Marcus Swift had to come all the way across the field there to make that tackle.
Yeah, Marcus Swift's been all over their field tonight. I mean, got 10 tackles right now. And one pass deflection.
Reno now on a 2nd and short. Isaac knocks back in the... They have not stopped him for a loss. They have this time. First time for everything in the game. Tony Roberto gets a stop there on Isaac Knox, who has been basically unstoppable. And they're going to spot him exactly where he started. Can they get back-to-back 3rd down and short stops? They've done this a couple times today. It'll be Colin Hart back in the backfield. Strong power eye once more. They have thrown out of this as well, so all possibilities here. Toss play outside Hart. Behind the line. Got forward, though. Collins was pushing forward, trying to get to him. Couldn't do so, and Hart's picked up the 1st down.
Yeah, great little step form by Hart. Just powering his way to the first down marker.
Now in a gun, spread formation, split backs, drop back here, throws, that's caught. It's up 13 odd yards there on the fly, and they go back to back. T to Quinn, again, 6th catch of the game. Reno is just not looking at anyone else. We talked about how balanced this offense can be, but not today. T to Quinn's been the only one to really get open space.
I mean, definitely, she's had 6 targets, 5 receptions, 60 yards. She's put on a clinic on how to get open.
4 wide, hand off of the middle. Hart got forward, great running from Colin Hart. 9 yards again. He just cannot be stopped early at the moment. You saw there David Ware trying to get forward to try and put pressure on early because he was expecting a pass and got caught out there. And Colin Hart picked up a real gift, 9 yards there. Back in the strong power eye. Single receiver up the top to another long and methodical drive from this legend offense. Hand off at the middle. Knox again. Picks up the 1st down. And they keep it driving downfield.
Man, Reno's having a pretty easy night of it. His backs are doing the work. He's 8 for 12. But these backs have been doing a great job.
Back in the bunch here. Hand off up the middle. That time they read it. And he's dumped behind the line of scrimmage there. Colin Hart for a loss of 2.
And these Lexington linebackers are, show why they're paid the money they're paid. They're great at creating havoc and getting tackles for loss in the backfield.
They got caught out last time with Minnesota running out of a passing set. So now Reno's going to go back to the air. That's incomplete. Falls away. Jay Taylor couldn't hang on to that one. He was in double coverage. And they'll bring him a 3rd down and long. Again, same situation we talk about. It's a field goal attempt at worst here. Got to avoid a turnover. Reno hasn't done that yet tonight. 4 wide. They have run out of this before. Taylor moved in motion down the bottom. It's now a trips look down the bottom. And Reno's going to run it himself. He's not going to get the forward progress required. It's officially a yard of the 12 required. But again, it just basically gives Mickey Malillo a chance to correct the radar from that miss in the opening quarter and cancel out the Takeda Yuki field goal from earlier in the 2nd quarter. Strikes it right to left. This time he kept it in the left-hand upright. He hit it the same way the first one. This time he wasn't as aggressive with the angle, and Mickey Malillo hits his 18th field goal of the season.
And all the field goals have come from this side of the field tonight too.
So he wasn't far away from that post either on that occasion. Got it right that time. But still, it's within a touchdown of Lexington. The offensive line folded on the last possession. They've got to try and keep Kenny Slider upright. Return's not going to get farther than the 23 there from CJ Parrish. And that's where the Lexington Miners will take over. If you want to do what we're doing, your time is now to get your voice on the call. We are looking for passionate SFL participants to join our broadcast team for the contribution of SFL Season season 9, I should say, kicking off next month. Please visit simfl.net/broadcasting for more details on how you can get involved and be one of the biggest difference makers in the future of SFL action. I can tell you for experience, this is one of the most enjoyable things you can do. Slider again. Minnesota have a hat trick of sacks in the half. This time it's Angela Meerkats. So both Meerkats have a sack on the board.
I mean, they're getting pressure on Slider, and they become so one-sided that they're expecting to pass almost every down.
It's the third sack in the last 4 plays here for Lexington. This line is all at sea at the moment. And, oh no, almost again, great block, but he's gone. They held it up for a minute. Max Knight's got 2.
Wow. This O-line's got to do a better job of protecting Slider.
You saw this edge rusher push across, and I think Phoebe Collins kind of held it alive for a second there, but it wasn't long before Max Knight got in, and now Lexington find themselves exactly where they were.
That's 2 drives in a row. You're 3rd and 20, now you're 3rd and 19.
Slider again, this time he's kept upright, but it's going to be incomplete. There was a long way to go there for DJ Bandit, even if he caught it. And Itaki Yuki will punt this one away, 9 yards away from his own goal line. He'll stand in the end zone.
Seeing on tonight, DJ Bandit's had 10 targets. Just 4 more than Manning's had tonight, which is very unusual for this offense.
So Minnesota are going to start inside Lexington territory. And this is where it gets really hard, right? Because you now got to try and stop them when they're almost already in field goal range immediately after they just scored. But the benefit is Minnesota's offense probably feels fresh, but Lexington's defense is like, well, we just went out there and we copped a really long drive. Now they've got to get straight back to it here to try and prevent further points from being tacked on the board. Hand off at the middle. Colin Hart got forward progress. Picks up 5 odd. Keeps it going forward. That's the direction that Colin Hart wants it going in.
Once again, Minnesota's going to come out here and run their offense. They're very not one-sided here.
Marco
So
Swift has 12 tackles, and we've still got 12 minutes left in this game. That's pretty absurd. He's put this defense on his back today, making tackles, particularly in the run game. Tight end motion back into the line. Now a handoff here. It picks up a gain of a couple as Philadelphia Collins prevents Isaac Knox from getting the first down there. And it's going to be a 3rd down and short upcoming.
they're going to run here again.
Still that strong power eye. Look, handoff up the middle. Colin Hart got past Ware, and he'll get a first down. That's a great play again from Colin Hart.
At this point, Minnesota's playing ball control.
And they're just taking precious time off the clock here. For Lexington, makes it very hard if they score a touchdown here, because it's only going to leave them with really only a quarter to go. Isaac Knox picks up 3 yards there, so they're quick to cover him on that play. Jay Rock with that tackle. You see that Isaac Knox has been really efficient today, just averaging over 4 yards a carry, 50 yards on 12 attempts. Hart, that time they made him at the line of scrimmage, so that's the response they needed. Guess who? Marco Swift again on the tackle.
Wow.
There you go. That's why Lexington are struggling today. That explains a lot. It's just 15 combined quarters. They're basically averaging 1.5 points against a quarter at the moment. Minnesota's defense. That is absurd. Drop back here from Reno, thrown incomplete. So they get a stop here, Lexington on defense, and it'll be a field goal attempt again from Mickey Molillo. to notch his way into the league leader. And in terms of field goals made here, it's this dreaded 42, 43-yard range today for these kickers. Swings it right to left again. This time he's well learned his lesson because that one was straight down the middle. And Malello extends it out to 10 points.
I mean, the over for this game is 40.5 by Jack's data. This team has been a lot more defensive than that.
Yeah, definitely. I think we expected both of these offenses to be a little bit more open today, but Minnesota's defense has kept to its usual form, and Lexington's defense has stepped up today against an otherwise prolific offensive unit. This game is far from over, especially given this is a unit that possesses the talent of Gabriel Manning on the outside, who has had a relatively quiet afternoon by his standards. He's got something in him, Gabriel Manning, it feels like. See, back off to the left, 3 wide for Lexington here. Gotta keep Slider upright. They do this time. Almost hit it on the outside. Right as we were talking about, they've got to play in them. I think that's the key now for Lexington. They've recognized that the Minnesota line's getting a lot of pressure. Your offensive line's really caught out at the moment. Again, they've only got one contract guard, and Phoebe Collins is doing what she can at the moment up front. But they need to get the ball out of Slider's hands really quickly. Slider again, dropping back. That's the same thing. Caught for a first down. So the response is good at the moment from Lexington. DJ Bandit picks up a first down.
Yeah, like I said, that's been Slider's favorite target all night. That's the 11th target, I do believe.
And that's the 3-quarter mark done here. Minnesota leads it by 10 at home, but Lexington could pose an upset here late in the fourth.
Yeah, this game is
The
still wide
Simulationfl Football
open.
League is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, or account of the game without the express written consent of the league office is prohibited.
You're absolutely right. They're just leaving the door open a little bit here, Minnesota. So Lexington with a fresh set of downs. The response has been good. Knight almost got through again, but it's a great response from Slider. Throws, finds DJ Bennett. That's the second play in a row where Max Knight's almost gotten to him, but he's thrown it away quickly enough and has found DJ Bennett downfield for back-to-back completions.
Yeah, great job by the Minnesota offense of keeping Gabriel Manning all balled up. So who you go to? You go to DJ Bennett instead.
See, there's been a tough afternoon. He's throwing more incompletions than completions, Kenny Slider. Again, not in theme of how his season has gone in his debut campaign with his team. Slider again, or short one. That was almost another one where he got pressure around the edge, but fired it away nice and quickly. CJ Parrish gets a second catch today. Picks up 4 yards. Sure you get those 4s up. As we say, a massive thank you to Ron Haynes and Mark Mello in the stats trailing. Mark Mello has been enjoying this game thus far. He's had about 15,000 pressures on this Lexington quarterback. Had to run up the middle though to Phoenix Jones. Picks up a couple, so they're going to have to complete here on 3rd down and short.
I mean, Phoenix Jones is not having a good day. He's had 9 attempts for 4 yards, averaging 0.4 yards per carry.
He's gotten over 0. That's a positive in and of itself. Another pressure. This time Slider deals with it again brilliantly. So Kenny Slider has responded. This offensive line's not doing him any favors, but he has started to work things out here. CJ Parrish found downfield for a first down.
I mean, it's come to the point where Kenny Slider's taking 2 steps and throwing on that second step.
Goodness. There's no time. And it's partially, it's a massive credit to this defensive line of Minnesota. Their edge rushers and interior tackles are just getting so much pressure at the front line. They don't even need to blitz anyone, really. Another toss play on the outside, swarming Phoenix Jones. That's his best carry of the day. Picks up 7 yards.
That is his best carry of the day.
So Lexington's starting to figure something out here. They're inside Minnesota territory. Slider's throwing the ball well. Despite the boatloads of pressure that he's under pretty much every time he drops back. Deion James is in the backfield. here, runs on the outside. Bizarre tried to get forward, couldn't do so. And he still picks up 3 yards, making this third down relatively comfortable.
See what they do here on 3rd and 1.
Another heavy set. Jones is back in the fold. Phoenix Jones would love to get a first down here. Gets an open lane. Got it.
What?
He didn't know they got it. They surely got that. Matthew Alvarado is going to claim the tackle at the line, but this will be almost certainly a challenge, you would think, from Phil Collins. No, he didn't call it. And Lexington are going to be forced short. Here is Takeda Yuki. That is a shocker. You thought for sure that Phoenix Jones got that first down, but Takeda Yuki's going to admit defeat, and he will kick a field goal here to bring it back within a touchdown.
You're still a 1-score game here. This game is, a lot closer what I was expecting it to be at at the end of this game.
That's tough, and even the Minnesota players were asking some questions there. But evidently, Lexington quite comfortable. They were quick to call the field goal unit out as well. They weren't really interested in even going for it on 4th down. Nothing of the sort. So we're going to take this 3 points and see if our defense can get a stop here to try and get the touchdown that they need on the forthcoming drive. Craig Mam gets that return. Again, worth noting, this we mentioned at the outset while reading off the receiving numbers how balanced this offensive unit has. Reno's only found 2 different targets, and Jay Taylor's had 1 catch. So it's been all T to Queen today and all rushing.
When your rushing game is this on point, you can't really do anything else. I wouldn't.
3-yard pick up there for Colin Hart, who has picked up the efficiency just a touch. He's now averaging a flat 3 yards per carry on 23 attempts for 70 yards. It's been Isaac Knox who has been really giving Lexington some problems. He's back in the backfield here. Toss play outside. Knox met behind the line of scrimmage. Great response from Lexington up front. It'll be a 3rd down and long upcoming here. A great stop in the backfield there by Berto Demora, who has been kept quiet today. And now an important 3rd down and long upcoming here. Reno with 4 wide on either side. Drops back to throw. Sack in the backfield. Lexington respond with what they've been punished with on the other side. David Ware gets a tackle for loss, and that stops Minnesota drive straight away. 4 tackles for loss on the afternoon for David Ware. And Minnesota are going to punt this one back straight away. Nicky Malillo back to punt, so Lexington get this much-needed result. We'll get you a game update on Houston, Indianapolis after this punt is returned by Gabriel Manning, who gets it up to halfway. And as Lexington take over Minnesota territory, we'll go to SFL HQ for a second update.
Thank you, Jacob. Houston in the 4th quarter off a John Barnhart interception gets a Josh Slap touchdown. We're all knotted at 20 in Indy, but the Ramblers on the move in Houston territory under 3 to play. Back to you in a tight one at St. Paul.
Both games are close here on the opening Saturday night block here. Still got 2 more to come tonight. And 2 really good matchups of that. We'll talk about those in just a moment. But all eyes are on these 2 games at the moment. We're going to have the split screens up tonight. That's going to be a tackle right at the line of scrimmage. Chloe Meerkat has had an evening today.
Wow, and Phoenix Jones is still having issues. 12 attempts for 11 yards.
So 2nd down and 10 after the no gain. Throws. That's caught for a 1st down. That's CJ Parrish. Said in the chat earlier, let me cook. He is indeed cooking in this game. The attention is all over Gabriel Manning. That's opening up space for Kenny Slider to find him in open space. Got a one-on-one coverage situation there, and he makes the most of it.
Actually, Jacob, that was Manning.
That was Manning, was it? Oh, my goodness. Well, you can't leave him one-on-one. He's the guy you got to double cover. He is a prime talent in this league. Slider again pressured, got it away though.
Oh.
And it's a 2-yard pickup. Boy, Kenny Slider, he basically dropped back and he's got some kind of pressure in his face. It's either Angela Meerkat, Max Knight, or Chloe Meerkat. Someone's getting past the line of scrimmage.
He probably should practice that 1-2 step throw drill, because that's what he's having to do here tonight.
Totally. Now going back, dropping in the right direction. Slider rolls around. He's got almost a first down. Got the slide past the line of scrimmage, but the ball didn't, and it'll be a 3rd down and short. Want to note quickly, Chloe Meerkat debut campaigns had 5 tackles. 3 of them have been for a loss and 2 sacks. So that's efficiency from an undrafted free agent if ever you wanted to see it. Running up the middle though, first down. That's going to be a pickup of 3 or 4 there for Phoenix Jones. And he's just started to unlock it here late in the game. Again, it's had a really rough night, but you just never go away from him completely. He is still a prime talent in this league, Phoenix Jones, and a really good return campaign to the league here in season 23. Here's Dion James on the carry. He picks up 4 yards. Now they'll go no huddle. 3.5 minutes left here. They like the triple formation. 3 wide, plus DJ Bennett. They got all personnel, but Slider's going to take a sack, and they're going to go back to the line of scrimmage straight away. That was Knight there on the sack. And now, again, Slider this time had no pressure. There's flag. Alexander West was taken out, and Lexington are going to be spotted inside the 5.
Wow, huge mistake by Minnesota's defense there. You can't give him that.
David Levers has had a good afternoon, but he's made a mistake here. And Alexander West, who's only had 1 catch there, has made a big play here without anything being added to his stat column.
That was Nicholas Frost who just took him out of the play altogether by tackling him.
So now Slider has goal to go. They're officially spotted at the 9. They go back to a triple look here. Is that looking to see if that's Lars Mazzara in the backfield, if it's a fullback formation. They're going to move CJ Parrish in motion. He's been red hot at the moment. Along with Gabriel Manning, who's out the top as well. Slide. Oh, DJ Bennett wide open. They blitzed and they pay the price. Lexington have got an extra point to tie it.
I mean, the defense could have made it any easier for Kenny Slider. There was nobody in the end zone. They were all on the line. It was an all-out blitz.
That hurts Minnesota. They went aggressive, expecting a run there, and DJ Bennett could not believe his luck. Kenny Slider, but again, Kenny Slider's had some problems today with the pressure. Dealt with it that time, got it out nice and quickly, and Lexington have tied it. 13 apiece with 3 minutes left. Minnesota are going to get possession, but again, their last drive was stopped basically straight away. Lexington's defense is really clocked in the 4th quarter. Minnesota fans not happy with that one. So now the legend returning up past the 25 to the 28. Queg Mam on that return. And Reno's just got to shake off all the problems that they've had in this 4th quarter to try and get this ball downfield. Lexington have really turned the tables here. This is a divisional matchup. Like you can just tell the way that this game has transpired here. Both of these defenses really clicking here in this game. Neither team wants to drop this win streak that they're on. Hand off at the middle. Colin Hart got forward progress. Pete Swift. That's been hard to do today. He's picked up 11 yards and a first down.
Now, if I was Minnesota here, I just milk this clock to the very end. I'd go and kick my field goal and win this game.
That's been the matchup tonight, hasn't it? Colin Hart versus Marco Swift. That time Hart gets the better of the safety, and it's at the expense of a first down straight away. And now inside 2 minutes and 40 seconds here. Knocking on the door of halfway already. And off to Knox. Got met at the line. Great play there. Tough spot for Lexington's defense as they still got 3 yards out of that run.
But he paid for that run. Ooh, he was hit.
So understandably, no urgency for Minnesota. They only need a field goal, and they don't want to leave much time on the clock here for Lexington to try and drive down the field on the next possession. And they trust the boot of Mickey Malillo to ice this game potentially. But Reno's going to throw. Caught by Ackerman. What a play call from Minnesota at the 2-minute warning. Reno finds a different target for the first time since the first quarter. And Caesar Ackerman picks up 20 yards on the fly.
Look at that O-line from Minnesota. I mean, Reno could make a sandwich back there. It's like they don't allow them to get to him. They just hold up their end, they hold up their men. Great job by the O-line.
Gee, that was gutsy from Axel Raid on the sidelines. And let's try and catch him off guard here in a heavy set. And find Caesar Ackerman. So now they're inside the 40. 2 minutes to go here in the fourth. Tie ball game. Handoff up the middle. Hart picks up 2. Keeps the clock running.
And so it's just taking their time.
Sits firmly on a knife's edge here. So they're not quite in field goal range here. Lexington's defense probably can only afford one more first down here. Reno drops back. This is risky. It's incomplete. Got the coverage around there. And they get one back after giving up the deep drop there on the previous play. Keeps this one at bay here. Travis Harper there on that deflection.
The other game is going to overtime. Houston 20, Indianapolis 20.
Oh my goodness, this one could as well. Who knows? You could be in for a late finish here, Rochelle, when you didn't want one. Incomplete. Oh. Travis Arthur nearly had an interception there, and it's going to be fourth down. Minnesota are not in field goal range here, so they are going to have to give this ball back to Lexington, and Lexington could very well have the last say here. Presuming that this is the punt formation, it is. So Mickey Malillo is going to, instead of kicking the game-winning field goal, he's going to try and find the coffin corner here. Sends this one up. That's not going to get the angle he wanted. They're going to have to hope for a good bounce here, and he doesn't get it. It bounces straight out of bounds. So Lexington get basically the best result they could have possibly gotten there in that situation. And they're going to start this basically at their own 25.
Everybody's on the edge of their seat. The Minnesota crowd has been really quiet now.
This is really tense here. 1 minute and 20 left on the clock, and Slider has been slinging it today. But almost blown up, but Jones gets it forward. That was risky. Gee, that could be a loss of about 5 yards there if Johnny Bravo got the tackle. Couldn't do so. And no urgency here from Lexington. Now they hurry it up to the line of scrimmage here. They change the formation. Suspect the run plays won't last much longer with the way that the clock is running, but they got a hand off at the middle. That's not going to get much. 2-yard pickup. Lexington will be forced to call a timeout to change the formation.
I mean, this Lexington offense has been passing all night. Now they come out with a run game? I am totally confused.
Well, if anything, they've been unpredictable tonight. Now they've brought the bunch out. They got 4 wide. 3, including Bandit. Block around the edge was a good one. Slider throws out. That's caught by Manning. Picks up a gain of about 15 or so. And they'll get this one 5 yards shy of halfway. They got to try and be careful here because they're on the fringe of field goal range. Another couple of first downs here, and it's right there for them. Manning on the precipice of 100 yards on the game. Slider drop back. Gone again. 6th sack of the day for Minnesota's front 7.
Wow, this O-line's not doing a very good job tonight.
They have cashed in. Max Knight's got a hat trick on the board. And then both Meerkats have one apiece. Now 4 wide. They've got to get aggressive here, Rochelle. And they're going to keep Kenny Slider upright. Slider gone again. 7 on the board. They got to go no huddle now. It's another one on the board for Mark Mello. Now they've got to really up the ante. They got to spike it here 4 for 20 this game. We had the other game go to overtime. This one's about a 95% chance of going to overtime as well.
Wow. What a slot of games we have going right now.
Stallman Real Estate in the Saturday playing for overtime. You are exactly right. That's exactly what happened because Lexington are going to punt this one away. So Minnesota are going to get a shot at it here. Return up to the 30. And they have about 68 odd to try and get this downfield. Probably got 2 shots at a touchdown here. But they'd all need it on one play. But again, Reno's got some of the best receivers in the SFL on the field here. Anything can happen. But we're penciled in at the moment for a second overtime game in the same block to start off SFL Saturday Night Football in Week 11. Reno drop back, caught for a first down. They're going to get it up to the 40, and it'll be a timeout call with 5 seconds left.
Wow.
Full wide here. Again, just shy halfway. Can Reno do something here? A little bit of magic potentially. That's going to be caught. They got the timeout in time. Be careful here, Lexington. Reno is just on the fringe. They got a forward, so it's not quite in Malillo field goal territory. But they only need 41 now. This is not out of the question. Quads again. That's the right play call. They were trying to get their playmakers in open space to try and run it downfield, but that's incomplete. And we are going to overtime here in St. Paul, Minnesota. The first game went to overtime. So are we here at Snyder Field here in St. Paul, Minnesota. This is going to be a huge, huge finish here. Lexington and Minnesota in the division here at Moonwalker Field at Northwood Stadium in St. Paul, Minnesota.
I mean, it feels like a playoff game here tonight.
It is. Well, it is for these two teams because remember, Lexington are trying to get 2 wins above 500. That'd be huge for them. And Minnesota would almost guarantee a playoff spot with a win tonight. Again, those scenarios really important. This would be a 7th win for Minnesota. They really only need one more to really cement it. Obviously, nothing is guaranteed in Week 11, but it really starts to shape things up in the playoff picture. So Lexington are going to get first possession here in the overtime period. Returned up from the inside the end zone. Juke move from Manning. Got it past the 20. He stopped at the 22.
Yeah, with the SFL rules, first team to score wins. So Minnesota's defense needs to show up right here.
It's huge. Because it could be anything, and it makes it tough here for the kicking team to try and get a win in an overtime period when you don't get possession first. But this has been a defensive contest. Alexander West move in motion. So they load up the left-hand side. Slider's going to throw again. Good block around the edge. Incomplete, though. Tried to fire it into the range of Gabriel Manning, who couldn't find him. And it's the first of what would need to be 3 stops for Minnesota.
Yeah, but when the game's on the line, you go to your playmakers, and that's their playmaker.
3 wide again. Again, this defensive line has needed no help to try and get into the backfield today. Continues to be the case here in overtime. Another rush. This time they'll run it. Jones beat the first. It's chased down by Blaine. It's a pickup of 5. That makes third down a little more comfortable. Don't mind that play call from Lexington.
You put the ball back in Kenny Slider's hand. He's going to have to pass here to get the 5 yards. Look for Manning.
Triple formation. Manning's up the top there with West. Parrish is down the bottom. And it's going to be moved across. Slider. This time he's got some time. Throws it. It's caught, but short of the sticks.
Wow.
Play made there. And Minnesota have got a stop that they needed there. Crucial tackle by Derek Meerkat. And a 4th and 1. Lexington are going to punt this one away, you would imagine. And this opens up all kinds of possibilities here. Poor Rochelle. Rochelle saying in pre-game, I need to be somewhere after this game. So this game decided to say, we're going to overtime tonight. It's like he willed it into existence.
We need a police escort after this game.
We'll have to arrange it. You don't want to get caught in the foot traffic trying to get out of the ground here. So, bunch formation to the right. Minnesota are at the 38. This is really good starting field position. Hand off at the middle there. Man at the line of scrimmage there. Colin Hart. Let's check in on the final of the other game on this block.
Thank you, Jacob. The Houston Headhunters offense steps up clutch. O.J. Bruin completes 8 of his last 10 passes. This one to Tiberius Bovine, and Sonny J kicks the game-winning field goal. Houston beats Indy 23-20 as Lexington gets another big stop. Back to you.
Tip made on the deep throw there by Phil Collins, and it'll now be a 3rd down and long for Minnesota. So both of these defenses are just cancelling each other out at the moment. A huge 3rd down attempt here, but Lexington a possibility of getting the football back straight away in overtime. This game is determined to drag out as long as they possibly can. It'll be Jay Taylor moved across. There's a trips down the bottom. Reno got a block up front, throws. Oh no! Costly mistake there on the outside by the corner. Got a little bit too rough on the coverage and didn't need to because the receiver dropped it anyway. And Nate Haslop has given Minnesota a fresh set of downs.
That's the last thing that Lexington wanted to do is make a mistake here.
He was there. He just needed to turn around and face the ball, and it was an incompletion. At minimum, he could have had a pick, but he went and played the man instead.
He wasn't perfect with it.
A little bit too aggressive. Yeah, you're absolutely right. He had himself in the right spot. The coverage was excellent, but he just made the wrong decision when the ball went there. Now, fresh set of downs from the 45. Reno's going to drop back. Pressure almost got there, and he just fired it straight into the midst of Colin Hart, who gets 5 yards, but it was almost a sack.
Yeah, great job by Reno getting rid of the ball, finding just a little dump off the Hart to get in the 5 yards.
Both quarterbacks have had mixed afternoons here, and all that gets thrown out of the window.
I think they're running here.
Yeah, toss play outside. Good call, Ray. Colin Hart beats 2, not the 3rd, and it's going to bring up a 3rd down and 3.
That time Minnesota came out with 7 people on the line, 2 tight ends. That very, very heavy set.
Another opportunity for Lexington to get a stop here, but the ever hard to stop Isaac Knox is in the backfield here. Knox, handoff up the middle. Can they get there? He can. Got the 1st down. They tried to put pressure up front, but Cameron Shaw had to make sure he didn't get any further than that.
That's like trying to... It looks like he's the size of a linebacker out there. That's a big running back.
He is huge. And fast as well. That's what makes him so hard. So he just gets past the line of scrimmage so quickly. You got to really bring up and get pressure on him. Reno with a fresh set of downs. Throws that. That's caught for a gain of 9. T to Queen again. It's been all the Queen this afternoon. She's been the only one to really get open space. Although they've diversified the receiving core just a little bit. Deezer Powell's have one. Jay Taylor's have one. And Ackerman's have one.
They've all had targets, though.
Ooh. Reno, correct. Outside, that's a pitch play to the outside. Philadelphia Collins dumps in behind the line of scrimmage. And it's another 3rd down and short. They've completed the last 2. But it's Isaac Knox in the backfield again. This has been Marco Swift territory. He will bring pressure here. 4 up front, 2 linebackers looking to blitz on either side. Handoff straight up the middle. Knox for progress. Got Matt, but he broke. Isaac Knox has been incredible tonight, and he gets it past the 20 to the 15.
Now, if you're Minnesota, do you kick it here?
They can get it a little bit closer if they want to, the way these running backs are playing, provided they don't lose the football. Isaac Knox has been the player of the game today. I know Hart has had the volume, but the efficiency of Isaac Knox when he's been called upon has been outstanding. So Reno's
I
going to
agree.
keep the offense out there, 21 yards out from scoring.
Why
They're
are
going to
you
throw
throwing?
it. Oh, it's caught, gutsy, but they got the job done. Now they're inside goal to go. Guess who? T. DeQueen again.
I mean, that's her 9th reception, Jacob. 9th.
And I guess it's gusty, but we go back to something that's worked all afternoon. Now they're at the 5, and now Mickey Malillo can go out and make the chip shot for his 20th on the season. Mickey Malillo straight down the middle. Game, set, bingo. Minnesota have pulled off the late closer here. They had the game in two hands, then they lost it late in the 4th, but they've gotten the win in overtime. Minnesota takes down Lexington there for their 4th win in a row and 7th on the season.
Wow, what an ending to this game. Just when I thought they were going to kick their field goal, they threw a pass, which just shocked me. But hey, he gave Mickey Malillo a chip shot and game over.
Boy, was that an interesting affair. 2 games in the opening block of your SFL Saturday night 4-game slate here in week 11. 2 games that went to overtime, and we've still got 2 really good games yet to come. If you're still looking for more football, Louisiana will take on Fort Worth with Ramos Lino and Mickey Malillo on the call there. Mickey's got to recover from that game-winning field goal and call a game in about 50 minutes time. And then later at 9:15 p.m. I'll be back with you with Brett Solberg to call you through Denver at DC. Plenty more to look forward to this weekend in week 11, but it's Minnesota who gets the win over Lexington 16-13.